Greetings and welcome to Earthling Cinema. I am your host, Garyx Wormuloid. This week's artifact is Spider-Man Homecoming, starring Tom Hollandaise sauce, and praised by fans as the installment that bravely made Aunt May hot. The film follows teenage Earthling Peter Parker, who is #blessed with sticky hand powers. One day, Peter fights for Playboy billionaire Elon Musk in the Civil War. But before Elon can Ulysses S. Grant him a spot on the Avengers, Peter has to prove himself by just sort of stopping crime with no clear deadlines or goals.
Hey, is this anybody's bike?
Fortunately, a garbage man named Toombs has been busy selling artisan weapons on Etsy and dressing like a bird, Spider's sworn enemies behind waterspouts. At school, Peter spends his time macking on his crush Liz, chillin' with his obligatorily fat friend Ned, and macking on his crush Liz while chatting with his obligatorily fat friend Ned. After school, he looks for crime, only to find New York City is too safe.
Everybody good?
That is, until Toombs' men forget their PIN number and have to use a ray gun. They escape, but Peter does manage to blow up a deli. Peter slings back home, where Ned learns Peter's deepest secret. He still plays with Legos. Oh, and he's Spider-Man. That too. When Ned coyly implies Peter knows Spider-Man,
Peter knows Spider-Man!
They score tickets to Liz's weeknight rager, but the party is cut short when Toombs' men sell guns to childish Gumby. Peter mixes it up by using all the same tactics and gets dropped on his head like my son. Relax, he was a baby. Armed with a 9th grade education, Ned and Peter decrypt a doodad and geolocate Toombs to Washington, D.C., the criminal capital of the universe. Peter gets a rematch with Birdman, but ends up in an Amazon Prime warehouse, where he hits it off with his OS Samantha.
So where would you like to take me tonight?
It's really nice to have somebody to talk to.
Speaking of hitting it off, Ned turns the doodad into a bomb, causing an explosion in the monument to Washington's penis. Peter saves his classmates, heroically costing the taxpayers millions. Back in the Big Apple store, Peter interrogates childish Gumby without a warrant, since this is America. He tells him to check the ocean bus, where Toombs goes rip ship. Elon glues the ship back together, but takes back his suit, leaving Peter to walk home naked. Peter asks Liz to Homecoming. Get it? Of course you don't. But when he gets to her house, a shocking Pepsi twist is revealed. Birdman is Liz's dad, who's anti-Spider,
I'll kill you and everybody you love,
and pro-gun. Since it's Act 3, Peter decides to stop Birdman's latest scheme, robbing an airplane full of Avengers merch. Toombs tries the old "I'm gonna drop a building on your face" trick, but Peter remembers he has super strength and thwarts his plan by crashing the plane into an area full of tourists. Having utterly wrecked Liz's life, Peter says goodbye. Elon offers Peter a job at Tesla, but Peter declines. Oh yeah, Aunt May was in this. Spider-Man Homecoming marries the superhero action genre and the teen comedy genre with a license it got online. The film is stylized like John Hughes joints, both through homages to Ferris Bueller Doesn't Go to College, Pretty in Pinko, and The One About Breakfast, and through its themes of teenagers exploring identity, romance, and hats.
He gives me confidence.
Through the lens of a kid growing up, the film updates the Sony Spider-Man ethos
With great power comes great responsibility.
and 10 more reboots. Usually, this is interpreted as meaning that since Peter has great power, he has the obligation to use it for the utmost good of society. But Homecoming inverts this by questioning whether the young Peter is responsible enough to wield great power.
Can I do anything? What do you want me to do?
I think you've done enough.
In the beginning, Peter is impulsive and fails to think through the consequences of his use of power. Not so different from the criminals who sell nuclear weapons to people without conducting a background check. He considers using his power for frivolous means, such as crashing Liz's party as Spider-Man for the gram, and jailbreaking his suit before reading up on Windows Vista. His father figure, Elon, has to repeatedly swoop in and clean up his mess, usually in a Tesla, ultimately taking away his suit so he can dry clean it. It's only when Peter realizes that his actions make things explode all the time that he grows up, ironically realizing he is not ready to wield such power. Until the sequel, Spider-Man Home Depot. In a note of intertextual irony, Michael Keaton appears as an avian villain on the heels of 2014 Oscar darling Birdman or The Unexpected Value of Shooting Off Your Nose. In it, Keaton's character falls into obscurity after starring in a superhero franchise, much as Keaton did after his starring role in Bad Man. Although who could forget Jack Frost? literally every human after they lobotomized it from their brains. This role becomes an ironic completion of Birdman, implying that the film made Keaton relevant enough to return to lucrative franchises and play the underdog to megastars like Robert Downey Jr. and 16-time Oscar winner Zendaya. For Earthling Cinema, I'm Garyx Wormuloid, and in case you hadn't heard, I've started my own channel. To see all future episodes and subscribe, be sure to click here.